Ashling Murphy went for a walk. She was dead less than an hour later. Her grieving family and friends sat through every day of her killer's trial. This evening, they paid a public tribute to a young woman described by the trial judge as representing the good things in a community.
Ashling was a vibrant, intelligent and highly motivated young woman who embodied so many great traits and qualities of the Irish people and its communities. Her life had a huge impact on so many of those around her, and she was the epitome of a perfect role model for every little girl to look up to and strive to be. She was not only an integral part of our family, but she was also a huge shining light in our community, a community in which, year in, year out, she gave back to as best she could.
The 23-year-old teacher finished work at Durrow National School at 2:30 on January the 12th last year. She headed straight for the Grand Canal in Tullamore for a walk in the winter sunshine. On the return leg, she was overpowered by Pushka. He stabbed her 11 times in the neck before leaving her to die in a ditch. The attack was completely random. Pushka didn't know Ashling and there was no connection between them. He had followed two separate women a little earlier in the afternoon. Eyewitness Jenna Stack, who was out running, came upon the attack and saw Pushka holding Ms Murphy down as she kicked her legs as hard as she could in an effort to save herself. She raised the alarm and Ms Murphy's body was found shortly after 3:30. Gardaí tried to revive her for up to 15 minutes, but when paramedics arrived, they realised there was nothing more they could do. Pushka hid in a ditch until it was dark. He asked for his clothes to be burned, then fled to his parents' apartment in Dublin, shaved off his beard and stabbed himself in the stomach. In hospital, he confessed to the murder through a Slovak interpreter, but after his arrest, he claimed he couldn't remember the confessions. His DNA was found on the bicycle he had left at the scene and under Ashling Murphy's fingernails. He told Gardaí while in custody that he'd never met Ashling and had never seen her before. In the witness box in this trial, he made up a new story. He claimed he'd been the victim of an attack and a witness to the murder. He said he was attacked on the pathway beside the canal by a man in a mask who stabbed him and then killed Ms Murphy when she arrived on the scene. He tried to claim that he was a good Samaritan who had simply tried to save her life. The prosecution described his story as ludicrous and farcical. The jury didn't believe it either. Pushka, the father of 5 young children, now faces the prospect of life in prison.
Ashling was subject to incomprehensible violence by a predator who was not known to her. The judicial process cannot bring our darling Ashling back, nor can it heal our wounds. But we are relieved that this verdict delivers justice. It is simply imperative that this vicious monster can never harm another woman again.
Ashling Murphy's family face a lifetime of questions, the most obvious of which, why, has never been answered.